العلاقات بين مصر والتشيك تاريخية وتعد حالياً في مستوى ممتاز، وبالنسبة لجمهورية التشيك تعتبر مصر شريكاً مستقراً يجمع بين الأبعاد الأفريقية والشرق أوسطية والمتوسطية. استكملنا حديثنا لبرنامج جسور لسعادة السفير إيفان يوكل عن العلاقات المصرية التشيكية، حيث وصف السفير التشيكي دور الثقافة والفنون بالمفتاح في تحقيق التقارب والتواصل الحضاري بين الشعوب المختلفة. ولكنه تحدث عن أحد المباني المشهورة في القاهرة، التي تعود إلى عمارة مشهورة جدا بالقاهرة، وهي تقع في منطقة العتبة بوسط البلد، وهي عمارة كبيرة في أعلاها كرة تحملها 4 تماثيل تمثل تحفة معمارية. Excellency, we want to transfer your experience in the health tourism and spas in Czech Republic to Egypt. We already have some of the public baths since the Mamluk time and Osmanic time, but I think we need to improve this type of tourism.
Of course, our baths are not as old as old Arabic or Roman baths, but Czech balneology is certainly very famous all over the world. From Arabic world, we have tens of thousands of tourists which are coming every year to my country. But of course, there are some ideas how to bring our expertise to Egypt.
Yes.
So actually 1 week ago I was talking to one owner of the spa. I can't still disclose, but they are very much interested. They asked me about conditions for investment in Egypt. So this is something we are working on. And of course, it would be nice to come one day to, for instance, Sinai, and to be in the resort which is proud of the Czech balneology know-how.
So maybe we can improve the number of tourists from the Czech Republic to Egypt. How can we improve the number of the tourists?
I think there are 2 ways. One of them is very difficult because it's the tourism to Sinai.
Yes.
We have even direct flight between Prague and Hurghada.
So it's easier.
Yes. So, but of course, it's a type of tourist who want to spend family holiday, relaxing, swimming,
entertainment more.
Entertainment, exactly. And this, kind of tourists or group of tourists is quite well covered. Last year it was more than 400,000 people.
400,000 people. It's a big number.
So imagine how difficult it is to even increase this in a country which has in total 10 million people, and which actually sends 1 million people every year to Croatia, for instance. So I think there is another way how to increase the number of Czech tourists coming to Egypt, and it's to motivate them to discover culture heritage of Egypt, which would be quite difficult without opening the direct flight between Cairo and Prague. We are working on it together with Air Cairo and Egypt Air. But myself, I'm calling it back to the roots. And I explain you why. Actually, if you will read this book about the history of Czech Egyptologists, they are also referring to the 60s and saying actually in the 60s it was the time of increased interest of Czechoslovak readers about history of Egypt.
للقاهرة أسرارها، منها من فصح عنه التاريخ، ومنها لا زالت أسراره كنز، وإن كانت مفاتيحه مثيرة للجدل وضمن سلسلة أسرار القاهرة. نسلط الضوء على منطقة العتبة الأكثر توهجاً في القاهرة، رمانة الميزان، المركز التجاري، العتبة الفاصلة بين القاهرة الفاطمية، عمارة تورنينج والتي تمثل تحفة معمارية. تم بناؤها على يد المعماري النمساوي أوسكار هوروريتس، وهو معماري نمساوي ولد في أكتوبر 1881 في مدينة جانجندورف في النمسا، والتي هي الآن كرانوف في جمهورية التشيك. Excellency, the Czech Republic is very, very popular about vases and Bohemian vases and crystals and lamps. Why is it so popular and famous for that?
Thank you for the question, Dr. Tahrid.
Okay.
It's a very tough question.
Why? Because it's very expensive.
Exactly. The question of every producer is, how will I produce my product so that people pay the premium for it? And I think that partly the answer is that it's the Egyptian taste for beauty stuff.
Is it close to the Czech taste?
I think in a way it's very close to our taste, very classical, and the focus on craftsmanship. If you compare the products of the Crystallex, the producer of our crystal, to the copies. There's such a huge difference.
Yes.
So
how can I notice the difference between the original one and the copies?
Sometimes it's very difficult.
Yes, I think so.
To find it, but you can always find the label of Crystallex.
The label and the touch of the.
And if you touch it,
yes.
And if you even using the light
too, so
yes.
It's a good experience
yes.
to
yes.
how
exactly.
Yes.
You need really to take a close look. Because then you will see the fine treatment of our crystal.
The fine treatment,
yes.
Okay. I hope you will import our scent for the artifacts.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Excellency, you are since almost a year here in Egypt. The favorite places here in Egypt for you?
You know, being in Egypt for 10 months, it's a really short period to pick up the favorite. I'm still in discovery phase. So
discovery phase?
Yes,
okay.
Which means there are still, from my point of view, quite many undisclosed places. Every weekend we go with my wife to see the center of Cairo.
Okay.
Of course, it's difficult to say whether Fustat is better,
Fustat is very
or
nice.
whether Coptic town,
okay.
or which mosque is the best even.
I noticed you adore so much the Islamic architecture.
Yes. So, of course, even if you walk in the historic Cairo and you want to find a time with peace, you can visit the mosque. You can enjoy the atmosphere. You can go to Ibn Tulun and you go up to the minaret.
Samara style, yes.
Exactly, the Samara style. So it's really hard to pick up the favorites. And still, we are talking about Cairo.
Yes.
I need to return to Luxor. I need to return to Aswan. Of course, last week I visited Alexandria.
Okay.
Actually, it was.
What was very noticeable in Alexandria? The catacomb or the library or Biblioteca Alexandrina?
We visited Roman theater.
Very nice.
We were talking about the bath.
The bath there, right?
So,
yeah, because it's the origin is there in Alexandria.
Exactly. But the main reason why I was there was the opera of Don Giovanni, which was presented in Biblioteca Alexandrina.
Alexandrina, yes.
Where actually Don Giovanni was presented by Czech singer Boris Prigl. So, you know, it's good that not only ambassadors are discovering Egypt, but the best artists.
I think soft power is the most effective tool to have a very good and a near cooperation between countries.
Well, soft power, whatever you imagine, is very useful. Education, so having Department of Bohemistic in Ain Shams is a soft power. Czech Egyptology. It's actually a great connection of science and culture. But there are also modern topics where actually some hot political issues and culture are connected. Actually, one of the biggest success of our activities here in Egypt was the opening of the exhibition which was called Czech and Egyptian Heroines in Aswan during the International Women Film Festival.
Film Festival, yes.
And there we presented 12 Czech rule breakers in the history and 12 Egyptian rule breakers in the history, no matter whether it's law, whether it's sport, whether it's politics. So that's why I said that soft power must be smart, because if we are just trying to remember all good times without inventing something recent, something which focuses also the interest of young people, then the soft power has no value.
جمهورية التشيك هي عضو في الناتو والاتحاد الأوروبي ومنظمة التعاون الاقتصادي والتنمية ومنظمة الأمن والتعاون في أوروبا ومجلس أوروبا. تتألف الجمهورية الحالية من 3 مناطق: بوهيميا وسليزيا ومورافيا، ووصفت هذه الأجزاء الثلاثة بالأراضي التشيكية حيث يتحدث التشيكية، حيث استعادت الأمة التشيكية استقلالها في عام 1918 دولة جديدة من تشيكوسلوفاكيا. Excellency, you are since almost a year here in Egypt. I think you tried to learn Arabic words or even phrases in Arabic language. How far is your Arabic now?
Very limited, Dr. Tahrit, I have to tell you. It's just for purpose of survival. So, for instance, when I'm hungry, and if I don't want to go outside, I always order talabat. And there is always a moment when he calls me, and there are 2 gates actually where he can deliver the goods. So I'm trying to explain him that where I am. So I always say Bad Semsema, Bad Madrasa Almania, Arba Shera Doi. So those are the first words I had to learn just to be sure that my meal gets to my table.
I remembered something about the building here at the embassy.
Yes.
You told me at the beginning when we were together, it is a very special building, and even the style of the building is modern, and it was built since a long time ago.
Yes. We call this style brutalist. Brutalist, which was not born in Czechoslovakia. It was born in Western Europe. But our architects in the 70s tried to merge the positive impact of this
It's a modern architect.
Yes, but at the same time to look very Egyptian. So if you look at the color of the embassy, which resembles the sand of desert, if you look also to the functionality, you see that they were really very empathic, because of course evenings in Cairo, it's something very beautiful. You can live in the balcony. At the same time you can hide in the shadow. So the building, it's very appropriate both for official purposes and also for the life of embassy staff.
You told me also about your wife. She adores so much this social life here in Egypt.
Yes, she likes to discover the way how people live. So that's why we have always been very grateful when we got invitation to Egyptian home. To discover Egyptian kitchen. And of course, in this sense, we have a big support of Czech compatriots. Maybe hundreds of ladies who got married to Egypt,
Yes.
who mastered Egyptian kitchen.
So it's a mixture between the Czech food and the Egyptian food.
So we call it fusion today.
Uh-huh.
But this is very nice. This is actually also part of soft power you referred to.
Soft power. What do you like or prefer in the Egyptian kitchen?
Tamia.
Tamia.
Yes.
Really?
I love tamia.
Not full, only tamia.
Only tamia.
And what else?
What else? I like variety of salads.
Salads, yes.
I love Egyptian grapes.
Grapes, okay.
Yes.
Because they are very rare.
And if you come here in August, you will see me and my wife collecting mangoes from trees at the embassy.
Which kind of mango do you prefer?
Well, the one I have in our garden, I call it just Egyptian mango. And
It's
really, it's unbeatable. It's actually the best present I can bring my family back to Prague. And everyone says I have never been eating such a mango.
Mangoes, yes. Everybody is adoring Egyptian mangoes. So I think you will take it as a juice, refrigerators, and take it back to the Czech Republic.
Well, believe me, what we did when season of mango was about to the end,
Starting.
my wife bought 10 kilos of mango. And she peeled out and she frozen the mango, so now we can still enjoy it when we have our breakfast.
All the year long.
All year long, just waiting for the beginning of the new season. To tell you one thing, also Egyptian strawberries.
Strawberries, really?
Yes.
Okay.
We normally buy it here in Doki.
Okay.
But once I was very much surprised. After the meeting with your Minister of Agriculture, he told me you haven't had the best strawberries. And he sent me a sample.
Okay, of the strawberries.
Of the strawberries. So they were even better than those I was thinking they are unbeatable.
Yeah.
So I think that Egypt is a real paradise for people who love fruits and vegetables. And if you have good ingredients, then it's easy to make excellent food.
Excellency, it was a pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tahrit. You are always very welcome at the Czech Embassy, and inshallah, we meet us again much more often.
تشتهر جمهورية التشيك بمنتجعات للعلاج الطبيعي، فجمهورية التشيك تشتهر عالمياً بجمال طبيعتها وغزارة التراث الثقافي الخاص بها، فلذلك فهي وجه جذاب للسائحين من مختلف البلدان من أجل السياحة والعلاج معاً، وذلك بفضل ينابيع المياه المعدنية الطبيعية والمنتشرة بكافة المناطق في التشيك. تتميز بجانب السياحة العلاجية إلى خدمات علاجية فريدة تعطي الشعور بالاسترخاء والهدوء النفسي. أما عندما نأتي للحديث عن أول أديب تشيكي يحصل على جائزة نوبل فهو الكاتب التشيكي ياروسلاف سفير 23 سبتمبر 1901 وتوفى 10 يناير 1986. جسور ممتدة بين مصر والعالم.